I'm so glad that we had these playful things that we did at the beginning, because today is also a talk that's about using our bodies. So Kim asked me to do a talk about somatic awareness. I have a background in ballroom dancing. I've been dancing my whole life. And I work also as a helpline agent for recovering from religion. And so I have some experience talking to people who are dealing with emotional issues. And I've done a lot of reading. And so, my understanding as a non-expert in psychology is that moving your body can really help you to, stay grounded, stay present, and even to process trauma if you have issues. So we're going to move a little bit. I'm normally a ballroom dancer, and I do a lot of partner work, but I'm not going to ask you to do that today since you don't know each other at all. We could, but we don't have a huge amount of time, so we're not going to do that. We're going to work on our own. I always want to say ahead of time that if you have issues, if you have a history of trauma, or if you find that being in your body is extremely uncomfortable, you don't have to do any of these exercises. They're all optional. If you start to feel upset or uncomfortable, please take a break and do what you need to do. But these are going to be simple and not scary, so hopefully it won't be a problem for anyone. I am going to ask you to stand up. And give yourself a little bit of space so that you're not running into the person next to you.
Standing up, not a good sign.
Oh no. So we're just gonna start by getting a little bit warmed up. We already did that a little bit with what Kim had us do, but let's just put our feet kind of shoulder width apart so we're stable. And we're just gonna roll our head a little bit. One direction. And other boy bands, and then we'll go the other direction. Remember to breathe. Let's roll our shoulders backward, or one direction, whichever direction. Some people go. Oh yeah, right. And then forward. All right, now this is where you might want to look around you, make sure you're not going to hit anyone. I like to go ahead and take that shoulder back. Just one arm at a time, nice and controlled. Don't be crazy. We're not swimming. We're just checking our range of motion. Let's take the other arm back. Right? Yeah, if you start to hear snap, crackle, and pop, that's okay. If you start to feel yourself breathing a little deeper, that's okay. Let's reverse with the first arm. Swim forward. Good, and then the other arm. All right, good. You can relax your arms, shake them out if you want to. Then I like to do like the shoulder roll, but we're gonna take the whole upper body just slightly forward, to the side, and back, and to the side. If you're real flexible, you can go deeper. I like to do just a little bit at first, kind of get that spine warmed up, and we'll go the other direction. Very good. And we're going to kind of loosen up our hips a little bit. You might want to grab your chair, depending on how balanced you are. I'm going to just bend a knee and just let that knee point in and out, and in and out. Just kind of loosen up that hip joint. There we go. Good. And then the other leg, and in, out. There we go. Good. Good. And then if you just want to stretch a little bit, kind of move your hips from side to side. Be gentle, be careful. If you're flexible and you want to kind of stretch a little deeper, that's okay. Otherwise, don't hurt yourself. Good. Okay, feet a little closer together. We're going to put our hands on our knees, and I like to do little circles with the knees. If you're old like me, this might hurt a little bit. Be careful. All right, we'll reverse that. There we go. Good. And then again, you might want to hang on to something. We're just going to kind of make circles with our toes here, warm up those ankles a little bit. One foot and then the other. Good. And then the last thing we're going to do is do what I call a little ragdoll. So I'm just going to, loosen my knees and just kind of dangle my arms and head down and shake a little bit to get that back loosened up. Again, if you're real flexible, go ahead and touch your toes if you want to. If not, that's fine. And then we're going to roll up real slowly. Remember to breathe. Don't come up too fast. And then just stand up nice and tall. Good. All right. Anybody have any comments on that? Yeah? Good.
Some of these are on my app that I have.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of great apps out there. This is something that I've been doing for many, many years where I just kind of start at the top and go down so I don't have to have anybody remind me how to do it. It's pretty easy. Good. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is posture. So I'm going to turn sideways to you so that you can see my spine. I'm going to start with my feet a comfortable distance apart, and I'm going to keep my knees a little bit bent. And I'm going to kind of tuck my hips under a little bit so I'm not sticking my booty out. And I want my rib cage to be directly over my hips. I want my shoulders to be directly over my rib cage. And I want my head to be right in the middle of my shoulders. I'm going to kind of pull my arms toward the floor, like kind of reach my arms toward the floor to make sure my shoulders are down, and then release that. And then just sort of make minor adjustments until I find that posture that feels like I'm standing up straight, but it's still fairly relaxed. I'm not using a lot of extra effort to be standing up straight. This is very similar for those of you who do yoga or Tai Chi to what's often called mountain pose. It's just a very relaxed standing posture. Remember to keep breathing. Good. Okay. Moving on, we're going to talk a little bit about balance and control. So as you're standing here in your mountain pose, I want you to think about your feet and how they press into your shoes and in turn how they press into the floor. First, I want you to just notice which parts of the bottoms of your feet you can feel pressing and how hard into the floor. We're going to start, again, I'm going to turn sideways to you so you can see. We're going to start by pulling our weight back into our heels, not so much that you're going to fall backward, but enough that you notice maybe your toes are starting to lighten up. Be sure your knees are relaxed. And then we're going to put our weight to the center so that our whole foot is pressing into the floor and we feel like our weight is going down through our ankles. And then we're going to put our weight forward over the balls of our feet, not too far, but just far enough that you feel your heels very light on the floor. And then go ahead and go back to center. Good. Any comments on that? Who has a tendency to keep their weight in their heels when they're standing still? Anybody? Yeah, okay. You might notice that when your weight is in your heels, you're more likely to straighten or even lock your knees. So if you do that for too long, it can kind of mess with your blood flow, so you probably want to relax those knees. Who has a tendency to be way forward over their toes? Anybody? Yeah, some people do that. As a dancer, I keep my weight forward over the balls of my feet a lot. That tends to give you a lot more maneuverability. So we're going to do that right now. I want you to go ahead and shift your weight forward over the balls of your feet, not way over your toes, but just forward over the balls of your feet. Make sure your knees stay relaxed. And we're going to put our feet exactly together for the moment. Okay. And we're going to take a side step, not giant. Okay. I say shoulder width and all the guys are like going 10 feet. So just a comfortable distance, we're going to take a step to the side. And I want you to put your weight all the way over there. Bring your feet together. Notice how far you moved. And do that to the other side. Step all the way to the side and bring your feet together. Good. So now I want you to take your feet a comfortable distance where you can split your weight between 2 feet. There we go. Just a straddle. And I want you to think about, we're going to shift our weight from side to side. But I want you to think about how much effort it's going to take for you to get your weight from split to one side. Go ahead and take yourself over there. Do you have to push off a little bit? Okay. So when we step to the side again, we're going to take a smaller step so that it takes a little bit less effort to push ourselves all the way over onto one foot. Okay, so what we're noticing is how much effort it takes and how far we're moving to transfer our weight from one foot to the other foot. When we're just, standing around, we don't often think about this. We're going to keep moving back and forth. in dancing, we pay very close attention to which foot our weight is on, especially when we're dancing with a partner. We're going to keep moving back and forth because it matters. If I have someone in front of me, it really matters which foot I'm on, right? Because they want to be on a corresponding foot. So we pay close attention to that. But today we're just paying attention to it because it helps us get our awareness into our bodies. And it helps us be more controlled in our movement. Okay? Go ahead and relax and put your feet however you like them. Good. All right. Was that weird for anybody? Is it strange for you to move back and forth sideways? I know a lot of people are very solid and like to keep their weight split. Did that feel weird to anybody to change your weight back and forth?
I usually stand like this.
Yeah, with one foot in front of the other?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
half a pound dog.
Do you normally put your weight on your back foot?
It is on the back, yeah.
It is, yeah. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, good to know. Good to know. Yeah, yeah, and some people have a tendency to move around a lot when they stand up, right? Nothing wrong with that, just something to be aware of and to notice. Okay, the next thing I want to do is to talk about core strength. The core is, just another word for your abdominal muscles, and sometimes people also mean your back muscles, which all work to hold your body upright. And those muscles are kind of the main thing that allow you to stand up straight and to be strong, whatever else you're doing, you need the solid core. So we're just going to do a little exercise. What I want you to do is to make sure your knees are flexed a little bit. I want you to imagine that all of your abdominal muscles, like your whole tummy, and you're just going to suck it in as though it's being pushed towards your spine. And if it makes other muscles tense up, that's okay. Try to keep breathing. It's okay to breathe through your chest and pull that in. So you don't have to pull it as hard as you can. We're gonna pulse. We're just gonna do 10 pulses in, and I'll count for you. Ready? We're gonna pulse in for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now go ahead and pull it in as tight as you can for a second, and then release it to where it's sustainable. And we're going to try to keep it that way for the rest of the exercise. Okay, make sure you can still breathe. But one of my dance teachers once told me that whenever you're dancing, or really whenever you're standing or doing anything physical, you want to always be doing kind of half a sit-up. So this is one way to do that. If you want a flatter stomach, by the way, doing these pulses every day can help. We all have, whatever we have on our bodies, but pulling that in helps tighten it up and strengthens us. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is something that I call body mapping, which is just kind of paying attention to where your body is. A lot of us over time, our bodies change a little bit, or our awareness of our body can change, and we want to make sure that we know how big our bodies are. How much space do we take up? Where can we fit? How long are our arms? How long are our legs? How tall are we? So I just want you to put your hand on the top of your head, and then put it maybe on the back of your head, put one on your forehead, and just think about how big that head is. Put your hands to the side of your face and just feel how big that is. Put a hand on the outside of one shoulder, and then the other shoulder. And then we're going to roll all the way down the arm and just feel that whole arm all the way to the fingertip. And same thing on the other side. Okay. Check your neighbors, make sure you have room, and reach your arms as far out to the side as you can get them, and kind of wiggle your fingers a little bit. Try to guess how long that is. Good. Relax your arms. We can do the same thing with our legs. I want you to put your hands on your knees and just go all the way down to your feet, if you can reach, right? And then other leg, just kind of put your hands there. Good. Stand up. Take a breath, wiggle your toes. Now, do you remember when we did that booty bump with our friend? We're going to do that with something that is near us. If you can't hit your booty, if you can hit something else, like I'm going to use this table, I just want to stand close to it, and I want to imagine, how far do I have to move before I can touch that table? How close am I? And I'm going to check. Oh, there it is. That's how big I am, right? Okay, so try that with your chair that's next to you, with any part of your body that touches. I'm going to do the other side. I'm just going to guess. I'm going to look and guess and then feel it. Right? Same thing with my arms. I'm going to step away from it and I'm going to think about, can I reach that without bending over or not? How long are my arms? I don't think I can, but I'm going to reach. And then since I can't reach it, I'm going to bend over and feel how long before I'm going to reach it. How long before I reach it? Right? Same thing with the other arm. Reach. Guess, can you reach it? How far do you have to reach? And reach it. Yeah? Just to get you feeling how big your body is. All right, any comments on any of that so far? Anything interesting pop up? No? Easy, boring, you guys are all already really in touch with your bodies. Okay, now we're going to do something that's a little bit more dance related. We're just going to march in place. Just march in place. And I do want you to pick your shoes completely off the floor on both sides, right? Make sure you're still breathing. Good. Yeah, I noticed that some of us naturally will move our arms as we're moving our legs. That's great. If you don't, that's okay. Good. All right, you can stop for a minute. We're going to do something else that I learned from my mother, who's a music teacher, which is called cross crawls. And we're just going to take the opposite hand and touch the opposite knee, right? And this is supposedly helps kind of increase that communication from one side of the brain to the other. Apparently, when kids crawl before they walk, they are better at those kinds of activities. And sometimes adults need to do that too. Right? If you find this difficult, that could be a clue that this could be something you might benefit from, right? If you're not able to pick your knees up, it's okay to just lean over and touch the opposite if you can, okay? Good. Okay, and relax. This is where I was going to use some music, but I forgot to set anything up. So I could. So I'm just going to give you a pulse, so just listen. Hopefully this is pretty steady. So usually I spend some time with music. We might pull something up. Do you mind, Luke, trying to find a song for me?
I have to do it on your phone.
That's okay. It's in my purse there under the table. So when we listen to music, that pulse, thank you, is not always super obvious because there's a lot of other things happening. But we always want to at least assume that that pulse is there, right? You can keep going. So the musicians feel that pulse. Who's a musician in here? Probably more people than are willing to admit, yeah? So when you're playing an instrument, you feel that pulse and you all agree with your fellow musicians that that pulse is there. Sometimes there's somebody playing it, like a drummer or a bass guitarist or some other rhythm section, and sometimes it's just sort of traded around who expresses that beat, but that pulse is always there. And if we want to dance to music, that's what we're searching for when we listen, is where is that pulse so that we can then reflect it. Right? So now that we've got this beautiful little drum beat that Kim is giving us, we're just going to march to that. We want to try to get the foot to land on the floor when Kim hits the tambourine. There we go. Notice that sometimes maybe you might get it perfect and sometimes you might be a little bit off. So just make minor adjustments that you need in order to get that to work. There we go. Keep breathing. Good, and relax. Very good, thank you, Kim. Do we have some music or no?
No signal.
No signal, great. Okay, so we're not gonna do that today. That's all right. Okay, there's one other thing that I wanted to do before we'll take questions, and we might do another activity if you guys want to. So there's a thing that I call cheat dancing. This is what you do. This is the secret. If you want to dance with a partner or even by yourself and you have no idea what you're doing, this is a cheat, okay? So pay attention. All we're going to do is that marching, but we're going to do it half time. So we're going to go step slightly to the side, touch your toe, slightly to the side. Yeah, Peter?
I might be able to play some music.
Oh, that'd be great, yeah.
Is there anything you want me to play?
To the Wi-Fi, I'm already good.
Anything that has a steady beat would be great. Whatever you got.
Any suggestions?
Yeah, I got
I have a special song that was written particularly for me by my son that is I use in these classes usually. I forget to bring it.
Oh,
There we go. There we go. Good. So that's it. That's all you got to do. Just step touch. It works for almost any song. Sometimes you have to go slower. Sometimes you have to go faster. But look, you guys are all doing it great.
You kind of just naturally like adjust your body to the beat.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think when you hear music,
it's
it's some
natural.
kind of, yeah.
Most people do. However, from years of teaching adult beginners, I have found that many people are extremely anxious about their ability to do this. You guys look like you're all fine, but I've had a lot of students that are convinced they can't hear the beat. And they have no idea if they're on it or not. But I'll watch them and I'll go, no, you're exactly on it. And they'll go, well, I don't know why, because I have no idea what I'm listening to. But their bodies are moving. And some people are more aware of it. They can hear it and they could tell you about it and they could explain it. But some people literally just have no idea. But most people really do naturally feel this in some way. Good. You got it. Good. Okay. Do you mind just pausing that for a minute? We're going to do, realized I do have 2 other activities I was going to do. Thank you. Perfect. That was very helpful. I might want to ask you to play that or something else again. Good. So we're going to move it on to something a little bit more advanced. We're going to learn how to turn around. Yay. So we're going to do a really simple, kind of. We're going to do what Pierre Dulain calls a clock turn. So you're going to look at your feet and you're going to imagine that your toes are pointed at 12 o'clock. And you're going to pick up your right foot and you're just going to move it to 3 o'clock and then close your feet together. And then you're going to look again and you're going to move your right foot to 6 o'clock and then close your feet together and then move your right foot to 9 o'clock, close your feet together, and then once again move your right foot to 12 o'clock and close your feet together. If you did that correctly, you should be facing exactly the same place you were when you started, okay? So let's do that again without looking at our feet. 5, 6, here we go. 3 and close, and 6 and close, and 9 and close, and noon and close. Easy peasy, right? Does anybody want to try to do it to the left? Let's see what happens, okay? Let's see if I can remember how to do the clock backward. 9, 6, 3, noon. Okay, here we go. Ready? And go. And 9 and close, and 6 and close, and 3 and close, and forward. Very good. Let's do that twice as fast. 5, 6, to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and stop. Good. And to the left. 5, 6, sorry, let's do it together. I'll count you in. I didn't tell you that. 5, 6, to the left, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8. Good job. Yay! Easy peasy, easy peasy. Okay, does anybody have any questions or comments about what we did today so far?
Some of this I had to really concentrate on.
Yeah?
Like, especially that one, that was hard for me. And then the one where you're like touching your opposite side.
Okay.
That was really difficult.
Interesting.
So that's probably something I should work on to improve, like balance and
Yeah.
strength.
Yeah, anything that we did today was difficult. If it was difficult for you, it probably indicates that you could benefit from doing it a little bit more. Anybody else?
Yeah. I used to do a lot of yoga, but there's been, like, lately there's been something back here that's not good. So I've been a PCP that I'm seeing next week. Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. Trust me, I'm not here to shame you for not exercising more. I have been a lifelong dancer. I used to be really athletic, and then I hit menopause, and my fitness went into the floor. And I lay around on the couch all day now. So I am not judging anybody, but I just thought we'd spend today just kind of feeling our bodies a little bit. There are some activities that you can do at home that I wanted to let you know about. Obviously, everything we've done today is pretty simple and easy and safe. You could do that by yourself. Obviously, there's lots of apps that you can get if you want to do something more formalized, or you could go to the gym, those kinds of things. But one of the things that I really like to do at home for people, especially people who are afraid of dancing or aren't used to moving their bodies, is I like to encourage people to find a day when you know no one else is going to be home. Close your shades, close your curtains, close your door, turn the lights a little bit lower and turn on your favorite music and just allow your body to kind of be crazy and goofy and just feel whatever you feel and be as uninhibited as you can.
It's like nobody's watching.
Exactly. That is the motto of my dance studio, actually, is dance like nobody's watching. So I love that exercise. It allows you to find an inner dancer that you didn't know was there. But you have to trust that no one's going to walk in on you, right? Unless you're just a regularly uninhibited type like me and you don't mind looking like a fool in front of other people. But that's great, too. In line at the I do. Yeah, I walk down the grocery store like this. Yeah, I tap dance at the bank because they have such a nice floor, right? It's good.
That one over there's motivation is to embarrass both of us in public.
Yeah, I gotcha. Okay, any other questions? I have lots of other things I could do, but I kept it kind of short today.
How did you start with dancing?
Oh, what a lovely question. My mother was a musician, and she says that I used to dance around in the living room while she was playing as soon as I could walk. So I've just been that way. But I was fortunate that my parents sent me to dance lessons when I was really young. So I've been dancing my entire life. But I didn't start teaching partner dancing until after my kids were born, and Luke actually took me to a swing dancing class, and I kind of had an epiphany and said, "Oh, I should do this." So I've owned my own dance studio for about 16 years now, and so yeah, it's kind of my job. But yeah, any other questions? Yeah.
How have you seen dance help people in their personal lives?
Feel free to sit down if you want to. How have I seen dance help people in their lives? What a lovely question. There's a lot of different ways. It depends on why people come to me. A lot of times people come to me because one of their kids is getting married, right? And they're like, I want to be able to dance with my daughter at her wedding, or want to be able to dance with my son, or I'm going to a wedding and I want to be able to participate, right? And so that can be really important. People develop the confidence to be able to be in social settings when otherwise they would have maybe not even accepted the invitation to go because they were afraid someone might ask them to dance. So that's a really big deal. Here's a fun story that I like. Years ago, I had a young man who was taking dance lessons from me, and he was one of those people that has a very closed off face and barely spoke. So I could never tell if he was enjoying his dance lessons, and I was always a little worried that maybe what we were doing wasn't what he wanted or needed, and I couldn't tell. And he came in one time and he goes, "I got to tell you something." And I was like, "Oh no, what's happening?" And he said, "I play a lot of basketball." And I was like, "Oh God. Did his friends make fun of him for dancing? What is he going to say?" And he goes, "I've always been really good." And then I go, "Oh no, did I make him worse?" And he goes, "But since I've been taking dance lessons, I'm a lot better." I was like, so yeah, athletes they really gain a lot of agility and body awareness from dancing, for sure. And lastly, I'll tell you a story. I have a woman who came to us last year who had always wanted to be able to dance, but she never could because her husband didn't want her to dance, right? Her husband didn't want it. And she ended up getting divorced, which is not the good part. Yeah, she's happy. She has a t-shirt that says, "My ex-husband gave me this," which is pretty funny. But she started coming to dance lessons, and she had no dance experience at all. And she wasn't, she kind of felt awkward and wasn't sure she was going to be able to learn it. And now a year later, she is one of the ones that the new people admire because she's so good, and she loves it so much. She says it's part of her bucket list, it's part of her hopes and dreams, and she feels really excited that she gets to do this because she's wanted to do it her whole life, and now it allows her to feel like she's accomplishing something she's always wanted to do. And she's also made a lot of friends. There's a whole group of people that like to go out dancing together, and she's got a good social network now. Good. Any other questions? Did you have a question?
I did, but it's on your share. I was going to ask you where it was.
Dance Across Cleburne. Okay. I'm in Cleburne. It's not super convenient for you guys. If you wanted to come down, that would be great, but we're in Cleburne, Texas. Yeah.
You mentioned Tai Chi earlier.
Yeah.
And it's something that is not very common here, but in Asia, people in their 90s will do that and balance and everything else.
Yeah, just continuing to be physical and to move your body is always good for, as we age to kind of prevent that decline, yeah.
So I'm a nurse. Some of you may not know that. Some of you may. I'm a nurse, and I work very closely, oftentimes, with physical therapists. And so I can tell you that some of these exercises, just that spatial awareness, that body awareness, is going to help as we age. You know, one of the biggest indicators of disease right now, and studies are supporting this all the time, is we sit too much. So, and most of us have jobs that are in front of a computer very often. We spend a lot of time, a lot of screen time. So just having that body awareness and using your body, I don't think it has to. I went to General Conference, and we did a lot of playing and a lot of interactive stuff. And that's one of the things that I wanted to bring back to our assembly. I think Craig and Michelle would probably agree. We wanted to bring back to our assembly where we're doing a lot less sitting and listening and pouring information into each other's minds, and a lot more interacting and getting to know each other in that kind of a way. And now that we've got this space, we can do that. But I just want to remind you that, you know, play is so important, and dancing is playing. So when you feel that, like, you know, I mean, I think that's one of the reasons why, like, people love being grandmas and you know, having kids and stuff like that, is because it gives us like this nonverbal permission to play, you know, and we forget that when we get away from children. And so I just want to challenge everybody to take some of this today, that energy, that sense of play, and try to find time in your week to find something to play. And what a great way to do it. Just turn on some music, close the windows or whatever, and dance around your house. You know, so
Yeah.
I just want to reiterate what you were saying. It's just, it's worthy, it's important.
Yeah. Watch.
I had back in 2020, I had a job at the foundry that's over near Fair Park, steel mill kind of situation. And what kind of kept me going through, it was considered just necessary enough. It's making parts for other industries. And what kept me sane was being in the flow state of the repetitive motion with the machine and having something in my ear that I was learning. An educational audio book, or a YouTube channel to start to get into, or sometimes NPR, because they would have a good interview that day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, there's a certain flow state you can get into while doing this too, where you're going to be more absorbing information. So
yeah, that's true too. From the position, I see you, but from the perspective of somatic awareness, I would also encourage you to sometimes make an effort to do it the other way, where you're not distracted by something else and your attention is completely on your body. I wanted to mention also that your body is how you feel emotions, right? You don't know that you're feeling emotional pain until you feel it in your body, right? And so the more we pay attention to these feelings in our bodies, the more we can be aware of our emotions as well. So it can be very helpful for our mental health and just our awareness and our ability to communicate with other people about how we're feeling. What were you going to say, Dylan?
This is just something I'm thinking about, and particularly if you're like concerned about aging, you might find this interesting as well. But if specifically doing tasks that like cross over from one side of the brain to the other, like the going right hand on the left knee, left hand on the right knee. The left and right hemispheres do like different things, and the tissue that's in between them is called the corpus callosum. And every time that you do something where they have to communicate with each other, more like tissue is created in the corpus callosum, and the two hemispheres of your brain get better at communicating with each other in various areas.
That sounds like it's really good for you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Literally doing this makes your brain, I don't know if it's bigger, but it's heavier. There's more tissue.
Yeah, by the way, if I understand correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, but talking about your feelings is a cross-brain activity. And so this is something that studies in the past have shown that statistically most men struggle with that, and doing things where you have more cross-brain activity can help increase that communication and make it easier for you to talk to people about your feelings. Yeah?
The awareness is also really good for like anxiety. If you ever find that you're in the middle of like an anxiety or panic attack, it sounds overly simple, but if you can do some deep breathing you're telling your body that you're not in danger, that you're in a state that you're okay and you're safe, and slowly your mind will catch up with your body and kind of get you through that.
Yeah, there are more complicated techniques for that as well. If the breathing isn't enough to capture your attention enough, doing things with your body and paying attention to the way you feel is called grounding, and that's a part of mindfulness training, and that really can help a lot. If you're experiencing anxiety and panic, absolutely. Just paying attention. Sometimes when I'm driving and I start to get tense, I'll just rub my fingers along the steering wheel to make myself pay attention. Sometimes if it's really bad, I might even snap a finger to make myself listen, or scratch myself a little bit to make myself really feel what's happening. There's a lot of things that you can do to make yourself take your awareness out of the future and put it in the present. Yeah. Anything else? Yeah.
I just wanted to make a recommendation because the YouTube trainer that I follow talks a lot about the same kind of things. She specializes in workouts for women over 50. I'm in my 40s, but I've been doing her workouts for 4 years. And they're like 20 to 25 minutes. But she talks a lot about balance and helping you age well. So I just wanted to recommend Paula B Fitness if anybody's looking for something free to do at home.
Say it again.
Paula B Fitness.
Paula B.
Paula B.
LA Fitness. Free
All right.
workouts you can do at home, 20 to 25 minutes.
Okay.
Every morning.
Wonderful.
PAHLA.
Paula B. Paula. Yeah. What were you going to say, Kevin?
So I just wanted to make sure that it is healthy and developmental for you to dance while you're in the grocery store. Especially if you're with your son and your wife.
Yes, it is.
Well,
Thing that you can do while you're grocery shopping.
it is, unless your son or your wife are likely to kill you in response. So,
I saw
yeah.
the look, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
What banger just came on the grocery store radio?
That is true.
Yeah.
Is it
I love it.
early 2000s?
I mean, at the very least, you'll be entertaining the people around you. So, okay, any last questions before I sit down and we move on with our program for today? Thank you all for your attention and your participation.